What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Obsession. I'm Carl Bethke.
I'm Mike Stab.
Mikey.
Yes, sir.
It's November, baby. What do you got for questions? Oh boy. Here we go.
You know, we could actually, I got a couple questions, but we could probably almost maybe put them in as one.
All right.
You know, I got, you know, what's the best buck to doe ratio in our opinion?
Mm-hmm.
And then also, how long is a buck typically with a doe when they're breeding? You could probably
Put those together.
I could put those together.
Well, let's talk with the buck and doe part first.
Yeah, buck to doe ratio. You can, I'll tell you this, I know you can look this up on the old Google machine.
Google man.
There's a lot of different answers out there, I think.
Yeah.
But
I know what you hear people talk about on the Facebook machine and on YouTube and all that. You know, when it comes to ratios, you want that 1-to-1 ratio,
Yeah.
Mike.
I'd like to have 2 bucks to 1 doe.
I think we have hunted a property that was 1-to-1 or 2-to-1,
Yeah.
buck to doe, and that was a while back, and it is hard to do. Most places in Wisconsin right now, and I'll be honest, I would say are 4-to-1 or better, and does to bucks.
Yep, 4-to-1 in the doe's favor.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nobody shoots does.
No, that's a big problem.
Half the problem.
Yeah.
3/4 of the problem.
It's a huge problem we have in this state.
Yeah, I mean, buck to doe ratio numbers can be very skewed. First of all, by how people take them,
Right.
because they can go over. Let's just hypothetically say.
Well, what's the buck to doe ratio? This is real easy.
Yeah.
What's the buck to doe ratio currently on your property?
On mine?
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, it's pretty high. We got to take out some does.
Yeah. I would say I know for sure 12 antlerless deer.
Yep.
That I've seen individually.
Yep.
And a pile of them twice in one spot, and then the others. So I know I have that many for sure.
Yep.
So I don't have 12 bucks here.
No.
You know.
So you're probably 3-to-1 or 4-to-1.
4-to-1 probably. You know, I'm estimating my deer herd here, honestly, right now, between 20 and 25 animals.
Yeah.
It's way too many animals.
On
40 acres.
On 40 acres.
You know.
Yep.
It's not neat.
So
you're like, oh, that's cool. We got that many deer for a while.
Yeah. And then they're gonna go places, and
Yeah.
it just becomes difficult, and all your food is gone, and then
Yeah.
you can't be productive. But let's just say you go down the road here, you got public near your place.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say within a mile. What do you think the doe to buck ratio is there? It's probably still fairly high because it's a big swamp.
Yeah. 8-to-1.
Yeah. So your ratio is skewed due to the skewed issues down there.
Mm-hmm.
And in our state,
It just carries over.
it carries over. Yeah. And that's where we start to have issues. But if you ask the guys that hunt on public land, there's no does. And if you see one, you better not shoot it. And, you know, we have an issue. And it's the DNR's fault. So, that kind of covers our buck to doe ratios. It's hard to control small properties. It's hard to control properties on, you know, public land. I mean, it's dang near impossible. I think if there's ever a nuclear war, the only thing that's really going to survive are cockroaches and white-tailed deer.
I think that's true. You can't kill them all.
You never will kill them all. Trust me, we tried here in Wisconsin years ago.
Right.
And
Yeah, they tried to.
It didn't work. And those numbers down there are even higher in that core area than they were before within certain spots. But that kind of covers buck to doe ratio, I think. That big one.
Yeah, it's so hard to say. I mean, this many deer on this block.
Yeah.
You know, and they judge them weird. They do a flyover and see 20 antlerless deer staying in a field,
Mm-hmm.
in an acre field. So then they figure, okay, this block's 4,000 acres. We have 20 doe
Yep.
in 1 acre. So we have
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
You can't round the numbers. That's not really how it. Yeah, there's no way to lay that out because terrain and certain properties hold more deer. Certain areas, it all breaks up differently. It's really hard, I think, for the DNR to come up with an accurate number. That's what I think.
Right.
My property is no different. I'm not sure, but I would expect that if you did numbers down by me, they would be substantially higher.
Yes.
Not that there aren't, I'm just saying pure numbers, bucks
Yeah.
and does, not just, how many deer per square mile is what I mean. Not,
I think
not
if
the ratio.
they just tried to base off your property, it'd be very skewed.
Oh my God.
Because, they're all there now.
Currently, it seems to be that way. We'll see as things progress and the food changes, how that all works out. But, buck to doe ratios, I'd love to see a 1-to-1 or 2 bucks to 1 doe type of deal, just for the competition for the hunting aspect of bow hunting when you and I are bow hunting.
Right.
As for, the hunts that we have, even with a higher doe to buck ratio, we still have really good hunts.
Yeah. Well, you gotta remember that ratio. You always want to try to keep it down if you can, obviously, but not. So say you got 4 doe to 1 buck. Those 4 doe aren't going to be in heat.
No.
They're in estrus at the same time.
Right.
Unlikely. So, and if they are, they're just going to pull more bucks in.
Within reason, yes.
Bucks are going to come from closer around because they're going to search
yeah.
too. If they're not finding anything next door,
yeah, they're going to come.
They're going to come over and look.
Yeah, well, you're going to get bucks transitioning 3 miles or
because they've been here at some point. They've been here.
Oh yeah.
Or they've been on your property.
Yeah.
They've walked through them and like, I was here once.
Yep.
I'm back over there.
Yeah. See what's going on.
Yep.
Their home range is a few miles.
Yeah.
It's not your 40 or my 70.
Right.
Even though we'd like to think that it is
we
at times. But
no, nothing's better than what we have.
yeah, we've got them all. Every deer in the block is on our property.
Right.
Everybody knows better than that.
Correct.
The other aspect of buck to doe ratios, the whole idea is actually have a sustainable deer herd. So they're not dying of disease. They're not dying of starvation. If they die, we either shot them or they ran in front of a car or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not, we never want to see the animals dying of starvation or disease.
Right.
So, the big thing I've noticed recently, EHD in Iowa has been really, really big. The guys have been finding a lot of big deer dead in the creek bottoms and stuff where it's, they had the midge. That is a buck to doe ratio issue, part of it.
Right.
Too many deer in one area.
Oh.
Nature will win every time.
We always say a healthy and sustainable deer herd. That's what we try to promote and to keep on our properties. We are not QDM.
No.
We never have been. We never say we are. We try to sustain, a healthy deer herd on our property. That's what we try to do. So, and if you can do that, your numbers or your ratio usually kind of tend to fall with what you need them to be.
Yeah.
But not taking does out of properties is a problem.
A big problem.
And it results in problems all around you. So it affects everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to do it. They're not going to kill themselves.
No.
And they can't keep populating and no one shoots them.
And an antlerless deer in a doe herd will stay, and they will eat you out of house and home, and then you have the starvation issue and all the other stuff.
You can't run doe off your property.
No.
I don't care what people say. They'll come right back.
The only way you can get doe off your property is you cut them up, cut everything down.
Yeah. Take their habitat away.
Take their habitat away.
And then you're not hunting it anyway.
Right.
So.
Yeah, does are very adaptive animals.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very adaptive. So, buck to doe ratio, that's kind of how we feel about it. Pretty much covers that. The other aspect of the question?
Oh, how long? People wonder how long a buck is with a doe during breeding. And
They have numbers that they'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm going to say what I've heard
Yeah.
is always at 48 to 72 hours.
Yep.
You know, and I don't know.
I don't know for sure either.
I'm not going to say, yep, it's 53 and a half hours.
Yeah.
Look it up. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know that anybody really has an idea because I think it's going to vary with every animal.
I think so.
You know.
Now, how long is she in estrus?
Yeah.
In general, they're saying that the doe's in estrus between 2 days and 3 days. And that's proven on captive deer.
Right.
That's where they're getting that number from.
Right.
Each doe, obviously, like you were saying, is going to be different.
Right.
You know, in the wild, I think camera-wise, and I think Mike's area here shows a pretty good view of that when they are breeding here, that a single buck will be with her about a day, maybe a day and a half, which your cameras will show. Because Mike's got a really good camera layout, and the cell cameras will show all that, where he's following her all over the place and get on one side of the property, other side of the property, whatever. And then boom, he's someplace else.
Yep.
And with no doe, so
Yep.
I mean, she's out of estrus. I'm assuming, from what I've seen, I don't have cell cams, but my property is the same way. I think, 2 days, 3 days at the most, I would expect. And that might even be based off of bigger numbers, I'm not sure.
And that depends too when they found him.
True.
You know, maybe he didn't.
She may get bred multiple times by different deer.
Yeah, maybe he didn't get with her until the last day of that. So then after that, he's moving on.
Yep.
So I mean, it's really hard to tell with that kind of stuff. It isn't. I don't think it's really anything that you have to really concern yourself with.
No, it's not going to affect your hunting.
It's not going to affect what you're trying to do.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you got a good piece of property. If you're lucky, one comes into estrus, and then halfway through her estrus cycle, another one comes into estrus.
Yeah,
that's going to help keep the bucks in the area more. That would be great, but there's no controllability on that either. No. That I know of. But I think that's probably a simple way to lay that part of it out.
Right.
I think you got about a 2 or 3 day window when they're in estrus to hunt that particular doe in her particular area, and where she gets bred or who she gets bred by could be multiple partners, a single partner. I don't know. I think in the wild it's usually multiple, from what we've seen and filmed over the years.
I agree.
We appreciate you guys checking us out. Appreciate the question. If you get a chance, you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the Reaper in the lower right-hand corner. If you want to listen to us on the podcast, just listen. You can check us out at Google, Spotify, iHeart,
RSS.com,
Apple, Amazon,
YouTube.
Check out our pretty faces right here on YouTube.
Funny.
Also, check us out on Instagram at Rush Outdoors WI. Rush Outdoors Wisconsin is what it stands for. Or you can check us out at The Obsession Podcast Hunting. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Click and like, baby.
Heavy beast of the tail.
Almost. But we ended up finding them. You can see we're in this thick cornfield. So this is Romer, buck that I had on my property.